KITH Urban Story, Simple Version. Part 1, The Beginning. Keith Urban stands by a quiet lake in Tennessee. He looks at the water and thinks about his life. He's a famous guitar player and singer, but right now, he feels sad and alone. He whispers, "I only get to see my daughters 59 days a year." His voice sounds broken. He's not just a superstar anymore. He's a dad missing his kids. Growing up in Australia. Keith was born in a small town in Australia called Caboolture. It was a place where big dreams didn't usually come true. When Keith was 6 years old, his dad gave him a guitar. It wasn't expensive, but it was special. From that day on, Keith loved playing music. His mom, Marion, made sparkly stage clothes for him by hand. She would say, "A star should shine, even if only 10 people are watching." Keith played in talent shows and small clubs. Other kids thought he was different, but he loved music more than anything. His family didn't have much money. Sometimes they had to eat simple meals, but they saved every dollar for Keith's music lessons and guitar strings. By age 12, Keith was really good at guitar. By age 14, he played in clubs with adults. He learned that music can save you, but it can also hurt you. Part 2, Chasing the Dream. When Keith was a teenager, his small town felt too small for his big dreams. So he moved to Sydney, a big city in Australia. He lived in a tiny apartment and played in smoky bars. People started to notice him. He was good, really good. But Keith knew he needed to go to Nashville, America. That's where country music stars are made. Moving to Nashville. Keith got on a plane to America with just a suitcase and his guitar. He had very little money but lots of hope. Nashville didn't care who he was. Nobody knew him. So he played guitar for anyone who would listen. He worked hard for years. Sometimes he couldn't pay his rent. Sometimes he felt very lonely, but he never gave up. Part 3, Becoming Famous. In 1999, everything changed. Keith released his first American album. His song, "But for the Grace of God," became a huge hit. Suddenly, everyone knew his name. More hit songs came. "Somebody Like You," "You'll Think of Me," and "Golden Road." Keith became a superstar. He played for thousands of people. He won awards. Cameras followed him everywhere. But fame was hard. After big concerts, he went back to empty hotel rooms and felt lonely. The applause made him happy, but when it stopped, he felt sad. Part 4, Love and Trouble. Keith met Nicole Kidman, a famous actress. They fell in love and got married. They seemed perfect together. They had 2 daughters, Sunday and Faith. Keith loved being a dad. He loved his family more than anything. But Keith was struggling with something secret. He started drinking too much. He was trying to escape his feelings. One day, Keith knew he needed help. He went to treatment and got better. He learned to be sober and healthy again. Part 5, The Marriage Ends. For almost 20 years, Keith and Nicole seemed happy. But slowly, things changed between them. They were both busy. They spent less time together. They grew apart. On September 30, 2025, they got divorced. The worst part for Keith was the custody agreement. Nicole would have the girls for 306 days a year. Keith would only have them for 59 days. 59 days. That number broke his heart. Part 6, Feeling Lost. After the divorce, Keith felt very alone. His big house felt too quiet without his daughter's laughter. He saw their drawings on the wall. He saw their toys. He missed them every single day. People started making up stories about him. They said he was dating someone new, but Keith just felt sad and confused. He realized something important. He had spent his whole life running running toward success, running toward fame, but he had never learned to just sit still and feel his feelings. Part 7. The Truth He Learned. Keith understood that he had made mistakes. He worked too much. He traveled too much. He thought being successful meant he was a good dad and husband. But his family needed him to be their asterisk, not just sending money or being famous. They needed him to stay home, eat dinner with them, and talk to them. He had learned how to talk to millions of people through his music, but he had never learned how to really talk to the people he loved most. Part 8. Starting over. Now Keith is learning to live differently. He calls his daughters every night. He listens to them. He doesn't rush the conversations. He writes songs just for himself, not for radio or fame. He sits by the lake and thinks. He's learning that happiness doesn't come from awards or concerts. Happiness comes from simple things. His daughters laugh on the phone, a quiet morning, a new song forming in his mind. The end. Who Kith is now. Keith Urban is still famous. He's still talented. But now he's learning something more important. How to be present, how to feel his feelings, how to be a good dad, even when he only has 59 days. He made mistakes, but he's learning from them. He's not running anymore. He's walking slowly, learning who he really is. Sometimes the greatest success isn't becoming famous. It's becoming the person you were always meant to be. And Keith Urban is finally learning how to do that.